here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, and up on TSN 4. Bryan Hayes, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, and Jamie Noodles McLennan. It's got that Game 2 vibe tonight. I'm liking it, man. A lot of good energy in the city of Toronto right now.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to Game 2, you're going to get a Florida Panther team that's angry, that's going to make adjustments. But let me say this, because you see it with those two animals out in Edmonton. If you get top players dialed in on top of their game, it doesn't matter what adjustment you make. Don't you think that Brucey Cassidy, our guy, has said, you've got to stop Draisaitl and McDavid? Don't you think Jimmy Hiller said that out in Los Angeles? Don't let them have time and space with the puck. If guys are dialed in, they're going to make plays. It's been like that for forever with hockey. Whether it's 99, 66, Sid, Tays, Showtime, Ovi, they're going to get theirs. And if they're dialed in and they play possessed, there's no adjustment that can stop it.
That is 100% accurate. There's
but nobody in the league is those two. That's the thing. Nobody. Those two are the two best.
Okay, well, the guys I'm talking about on the Leafs aren't living in the bottom of a garbage
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you always say, well, those two are on an island. Say somebody else. That's the difference.
Well, Mikko Rantanen, I would say.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But Mikko Rantanen,
yes,
I hear you, but, you know, it's...
I'm not
there
saying
are other guys
that the
who are
Leaf
capable
players
of having
are
great
as good
nights.
as McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm just saying... Austin Matthews is a pretty good player.
He's a hell of a player.
In the same breath as those guys.
He's
William Nylander could be a game changer.
Well, and he was.
I forgot to mention before I made the comment, they're not as good as McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
I forgot to state that fact.
You do have to make sure you do that.
I'm just saying, like, you say that every day. Those two, but, you know, William Nylander went nuts last game. He got two. What he's got to do is continue that on. I think that's the biggest thing. Matthews has more. Like, I think he has more.
Well, yes. I mean, he's snake bitten when it comes to, again, that we mentioned that one timer in the slot in the second period, I believe it was, where he missed it by 15 feet.
But he got all of it. He just missed it. He just missed his spot.
Wasn't even close, though. And then the empty netter, again, it doesn't matter now. The game's over. But, like, those are weird, jittery vibes where this guy, he scores that in his sleep, and he didn't. And, again, he missed the empty netter by a fair amount. So, yes, I would agree that Matthews in particular has that ability. He's got the chance to do it tonight.
Right.
Game 2.
So does Mitch Marner.
Well, and again, you say what you say. Those guys aren't. No one's Matthews or no one's McDavid or Draisaitl. Florida doesn't have those guys.
Right.
So you can't come in and say, well, I expect Barkov to play like them. Like if the line is no one can do what those two guys can do, then that means no one in the building tonight is capable of that on either team.
I think what I was saying is like we always go those two guys. I say that. But what if we just go those guys, the guys who are playing tonight, who's capable of doing it? It's Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Barkov, Tkachuk. Who else?
I don't need to get into comparisons on who is as good as who. All I'm talking about is the best players. It might be the Florida Panthers' best players. It might be Matthew Tkachuk and Barkov and Reinhart that decide that they're going to play tonight. And there's not the bottom line is when they're dialed in, there's not much you're going to do.
Yes, and that I think is what you're getting to is that when the best players play at their best, there's no game planning against it.
Right.
Like you can try your hardest to clog up the neutral
say, hey, don't turn it over. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right.
And that applies to goaltending too. I think, again, there's no game planning against a hot goalie. If the goalie stands on his head one way or the other, and I think that is the story of the evening for me on both sides, quite frankly, because Bob owes his team a response, and I would guess he'll grant them that request because of how good he's been for the last couple of years. And generally, this is a guy in the playoffs who you can rely on to not just stand on his head, but just be very, very consistent and very difficult to beat. But the other guy, Joseph Woll, is now, I wouldn't call this being thrown to the wolves, but you're stepping in, your team's up 1-0, you're on home ice, you have a chance to really take a stranglehold on this series. The guy on the other end of the rink, again, is Sergei Bobrovsky, who you anticipate is going to have a much better night.
Right.
It may be a race to 3 tonight. Like, that could be the game. Like, last 2 nights ago, it was a race to 5 in the end. It may be a race to 2 or a race to 3 tonight. If that's the case, that puts more pressure on both guys, but especially the guy making his debut tonight.
Oh, you said this to me off air, which is I agree with. Joseph Woll can make a statement here. Like this might be some of the biggest
career-defining moment, like one of them.
Like this series, if he ends up being the guy, because we don't know. I hope Anthony Stolarz is back anytime soon because, I don't know. We don't know. But if for the next couple games it's Joseph Woll's net, he can be a difference maker. And if it's positive, then, you go to Stolarz, take your time, and nothing to see here. If it's not positive, it's the biggest storyline, is it not?
Yes, it absolutely is. I mean, Joseph Woll, you're an injury away from Matt Murray going in there, who is going to back up tonight.
Got cups. He's won.
He has, but he's also been playing for the Marlies the last year, and I don't think there's a ton of confidence in that. But he has done it. And he's not going to step in and be horrible. I mean, he would, I actually think, be somewhat comfortable in a situation like this. The more, I think the question would be, is he rusty? Would the body hold up? But, yeah, with Stolarz, there's no announcement. They're going to be coy about this. Everyone's playing games. Maybe he'll be back. Anything's possible. Who knows? I think you kind of brace for the fact that it's going to be an extended period of time before we see him again. So it's not just a one-off for Joseph Woll. And once you're into the backup or the second guy in a tandem, which is what they've been all year.
Right.
If it's poor performance, you're not going to anybody else. Like that card has been played. You look at Edmonton, like Calvin Pickard he's the guy. He's the man now. And he went in because Skinner didn't play well enough and got yanked.
And I like thinking outside the box as far as goals and possible things that can happen in the future. If I'm Joseph Woll, I visualize Craig Berube going in front of the media and saying, it doesn't matter who's healthy in the next game, Joseph Woll is going in net.
That would be a great story if he stands on his head.
But that's like a good visualization for him to be, I'm going to go in there and play so good. I'm going to put the pressure on the coach to say after the game, I don't know, Joseph Woll played so good, I got to play him the next game.
That's what he needs to do. Also, if Anthony Stolarz is available, if he's available, but Chief decides, I got to go with that guy. That's what's at stake here. That's the opportunity he has. Because, again, on this show, when Stolarz was injured, it was Woll's net.
Yeah, and he stayed healthy and played pretty well.
And played well, and there was a streak there. And we always had these hypothetical, who gets the net game one? He would, he had a shutout, and we were like, okay, it's his net. Then Stolarz comes back, and they lean towards him down the stretch. There's some trust there. But he has an opportunity to chart his own path here. He played 42 games for them this year. He had 27 wins. It's not like he wasn't, a traditional, he wasn't Eric Comrie. This isn't Eric Comrie.
Who we did see 3 times in the last round.
We did, but,
and will we see him this round? We'll get to that this afternoon.
Is that a Jerry's for you?
That's a mini Jerry.
Oh, my God.
I think it has to be.
I think that's the biggest storyline.
What's the mini Jerry? How many times does he skate out on the net?
Will you see Eric Comrie at all in the second round? You guys want to throw one out now? Go ahead. What's your mini Jerry? We see Eric Comrie for the Jets. At any point.
10%.
10%. That's very confident.
I'm going to go 20% because there's potentially one blowout where you're like, get out of here.
That's where I was going to go. A little higher, like 25, 28%, where it's like, this is a 6-1 game. We saw Jake Ottinger get lifted after 2 in Colorado. It was 5-1. It's like, get him out of there.
Get him out of here.
I could see a mercy pull. But not you're where you're going is like I'm leaning.
I know you're going to say 80%.
No, but your number is 1.5.
That's the total, and if that's the total, that's concerning. If you're leaning the over, if it goes over, Dallas wins the series. I
agree.
You can't replay what just happened in the last round.
This is too good.
Yeah, Hellebuck used that one get out of jail card, and they're out, and they got through it. You're not doing that again.
What's your gut
Dallas.
instinct that Hellebuck does this series?
I think he plays better, undoubtedly. I fully believe that. But for me, there's something about being on the road, man. I don't know if it was just St. Louis or what, but I don't think it was a coincidence that game 3, 4, and 6 he got pulled, and he just couldn't get over those demons. So I'm going to say 75% we see Comrie for an appearance. Okay, an appearance. That's all it is. That doesn't have to be. That doesn't have to be a bad thing.
You just hate goals.
No, I don't. I love goalies.
So funny.
I love goalies.
But no,
I'm
don't
rooting for
disagree.
goalies.
I don't disagree with you, but
I'm
I
rooting for
agree more with
goalies.
You're
O.
not.
I agree more with
I
O.
am
There
rooting
might
for
be a
Hellebuck.
mercy pull, but I'm hoping, just for his sake too, that it's just like a great series. For
Ideally,
him.
he never gets pulled.
I think Dallas is favored, are they not?
Yes, they are favored, and I think they deserve to
I
be.
think they're the
You
better
look at
team.
their lineup with health, man.
Right.
They got a good line. They got a really good team. Like they've
With
got
health.
like from Hintz into Duchesne into Wyatt Johnston. Like they have Robertson, Johnston. That might be their third line because you got Hintz playing with Rantanen, which is just a beast of a
Sagan's
duo.
back.
Sagan's back and playing well. So you got like the veterans with like Duchesne and Sagan and Ben. And then you got Marchment, I think, with Johnston and Robertson.
That's
That's a serious
it is.
top nine.
You throw Heiskanen back there at some point. Doesn't
Yes.
look like you play.
Thomas Harley, we all know, is a really
Nice
good
player.
player.
Yeah.
And if Ottinger plays well, it's a tough test. And again, Scheifele and Morrissey are game time decisions tonight. I doubt they play.
I
So,
doubt they don't play. If they
Do you think they're going to play?
in the Stanley Cup playoffs, if they say a game time decision and they skate out there for warm up, they're playing.
I just,
It depends on the.
for
nature
me,
of
it
the
feels
injury
like
for
they're
me.
playing mind games.
I've never heard of a guy. It used to piss me off. A guy would skate out there for warm up, no bucket, hair done, and then it was like,
I think
Who was
Patrick
the guy?
Laine just did it in the last
Who
round.
was the guy that you played with who had the flu?
oh, Radim Verbata.
That guy.
But I said, what happened to you? He's just like, something in my chest. It's like a chest cold. And I just couldn't. I would be so embarrassed to call my old man and say,
Yeah. And this
cold.
is the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Listen, obviously you need if Scheifele and Morrissey can go, they're going to play. I'm not calling out their toughness or manhood. What I'm saying is they
You
have
think
been
their injuries are more serious?
Yes,
Yeah.
like Scheifele was in a tracksuit the other. That was all performative going into Game 7.
You think so?
Yes, I mean you guys know that you go out there in gear if you're ready to go. You're not out there in a tracksuit looking like Ken Hitchcock moving pucks around. There was no way he was playing.
My
Game
whole
7.
thing with I think we don't know the nature of their injuries. If Scheifele's a concussion, that's different. You have to treat that with kid gloves because that is, it's a squash. Morrissey, I couldn't tell. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if that was elbow, shoulder, the way he got hit and the way he went off. But he was out there in a yellow jersey yesterday handling pucks. So if it's a hyperextension, if his shoulder popped in and out, it might be something that he just has to deal with and freeze during the playoffs.
That would be a big get, man.
2025, guys, and
That'd be a big get.
I also go on stupid tweets. Like when the Winnipeg Jets tweet out, Morrissey in a non-contact jersey, eyeball emoji, Scheifele
cryptic.
Yeah, Scheifele non-contact eyeball emoji. I'm like, they're playing.
So you think the social media intern in Winnipeg has devised a social media campaign to make you read through the eye emojis into making a call on if they're playing tonight? I just don't think it's that deep, dude. I don't see it.
If they tweet the player's name with double eyeball emojis, what do you think that means?
Okay.
Oh, he's practicing today?
No, it
So
does.
I just feel like I don't think you can go off what the social media
Yeah, Scott O'Neill's not
intern.
winking.
I
at
don't
them
think
going,
Chevy's
"Prove
sending
this out."
down, a screenshot of what he wants tweeted out.
I'll put 100 on it right now. And
Both
then,
of them play?
yeah.
Okay. Let's
Both
do it.
of them play,
I
and
don't
I'll
think
go right back to that tweet, and then we'll lead the show with it tomorrow.
I love it.
Eyeball emoji for both of them, and they're both in the line.
I'm pulling for both of them.
I
hope
want
so.
them both to play. I'm covering the game tonight on the panel. I'm excited if they will. I think it'll be a good game. Both teams are coming off the most emotional games of their season.
Right. How do you reset?
So what is it going to be? Is it going to be just jump right back on, or are they going to kind of wade into it to see how this goes?
Well, I honestly think what happened, like you look at what happened in Game 1 with the Leafs and Panthers, you couldn't wade into it because it was 1-0, 30 seconds in, massive hits, and it's like you better realize quick the Stanley Cup playoffs are continuing here.
The Leafs came to play.
Yes, they did.
Right from the drop of the puck. Florida waded into it, and they were
got
underwater.
smoked.
They were underwater until they woke up and halfway through the second or whatever. They were. I had a question. You were in the building. Did it seem like the puck was the ice bad?
The
other
ice
night?
has never been good in the playoffs.
In May, like
Yeah,
is it
and again, I don't know what the explanation
both
is
teams,
because
not just one. Like I don't know if you noticed that.
It was choppy in the first round too. I found.
But you're going as far as to say, are you some kind of ice guy where you like it's never? You just said it's never good in the playoffs.
Well, I think that's their history.
What are you basing that comment on?
Well, you played on that ice in the playoffs. What
never
was it like?
In the playoffs.
Yes, you did.
Against
In
the
02.
Leafs. Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember? Do you remember the ice being like? Was it immaculate?
It looked terrible the other night. I'm sorry. I don't know who does the ice down there. I'm sure they're wonderful.
Well, I think it's more that there's concerts and there's stuff going on, right? Like it's difficult. There's a lot of people in there. The weather's getting nice in Toronto.
It just looked like maybe it was like just Bumble.
Yeah, there was. I noticed that too.
We got to get Masters on and ask him about the ice, man.
I picked up on some.
Did you pick up on that?
Yes, I did. I'm being serious. I did.
We've got an insider. Send a note. Take it for what it's worth in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Scheifele took line rushes this morning. J-Mo did not.
Okay. Double eye emoji.
So
maybe Scheifele's going.
What is the bet?
Well, he's saying that both of them are going. He's saying I get. All I need is one of them not to play, and
you win a hunch.
I'm the winner. Winner,
and that
chicken
tweet,
dinner.
Now, did it say both of them or did it say Scheifele?
Yeah, Cheveldale sent both of those to the intern and said, make sure you post this verbatim.
I'm telling you, I don't know.
All I remember seeing was Scheifele eyeball emoji, no non-contact jerseys gone.
And that's
same
big.
Thing for Morrissey.
All right, I got you. All right, well, let's see if we can get some insight on the ice down at Scotiabank. You played in the playoffs down there in 02. Do you remember? Was it
Carolina
beautiful?
Hurricanes, no problem. I scored a couple of big goals in that building. Ice was perfect.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I expect better ice tonight. I expect great ice tonight.
I don't know. I was watching it the other night. I'm like a simple play, a pass, and it would like hop over a stick. I'm like, that's not on the player. That's on the surface.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
If Vegas can have good ice, if Carolina can have good ice, that Carolina team.
What a win that was last night. Like it goes to overtime. I love when guys like Slavin get OT winners. Yeah. You know, it's like Benoit. Like Slavin's a great player, but he's not offensively. Yeah. Like he's not a guy you would ever pick before overtime.
Eye shot
landed on the ice and in.
Yeah. Well, and Carberry was really bent out of shape after the game. Like didn't like his team's effort.
And 13 shots on goal.
Yeah. Well, it was like Vegas last night. Like Edmonton in the second period outshot them 12-1. Like they just completely flipped the game. And I didn't hear Cassidy after the game. I can't imagine he was happy with his team's effort.
He actually was really honest. Yeah. All he said is, he goes, our team had a good start, and he goes, they were unable to raise their level when Edmonton raised their level.
Yeah.
He said, we just didn't have a response. He said, they raised their level, and he goes, I looked around, and he goes, our team didn't. And he goes, that's why they won. He goes, we're going to have to adjust. Now, it hurt that they were missing Petro, because that's a big blow on the back end.
Yes.
Like Petro, I don't know if he's sick. I mean, they announced sick, but what does sick mean in the playoffs?
That's a good question.
Like I hope he's there for boy, you're on fire today.
I'm feeling good going into game 2, man. I'm jacked for
this
game
guy
2.
is like.
I have a
turn our mics off.
I feel like Don Rickles.
Eye emoji behavior is insane.
There it is. Tonight's projected lineup. Okay, I don't
Scheifele. I see
Morrissey.
Scheifele there.
I see Scheifele top line with Velarde and Connor. I do not see Morrissey. Okay, well, I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll get to that as we move forward here.
Don't read too much into projected.
No.
That's not
a game time decision. How can you have a projection in the afternoon? You got to wait till you get to the warm-up.
I would love to see it.
All right, Jason Strudwick. Struddy coming up later in the hour. Off an Oiler win. We're always consistent. Struddy, the door's open. Wins or losses. Oilers have won 5 in a row. And you look at it, like Doogie's pointed this stat out, because the Warriors won in Minnesota last night, all the road teams, and Indiana for that matter, all the road teams in the second round of the NBA have won their games, 5-0. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's all the road teams except for Toronto. Now, we haven't had Winnipeg and Dallas play,
right,
but Edmonton won last night, Carolina won last night. So the Leafs stand alone in the second round when you look at the NHL and the NBA for actually holding on to home ice.
I think it's more of an NBA trend, but it's so funny. It started out with Tatum and Jaylen Brown in Boston. People tweet out Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum when their team needed them in the fourth quarter, and then they Photoshop some brutal player with their head.
Yes. Yeah.
Like someone said about Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. They're like, Ant-Man against Golden State, and it was Bronny James' head on his shirt.
That's awful.
Like,
Like
do
they
see
just
some
give it
great
to those
ones.
guys when they come up lame in a fourth, and they just don't get the
Well,
job
didn't-
done, or they're terrible.
Yeah.
It's the best.
The
Didn't
photo
LeBron have a
shopping.
bad fourth quarter
Yeah, it wasn't great in Game
their
5.
last game? Like,
Well, apparently he
That
blew
was
his-
hurt, and that's why he couldn't go to the Met Gala. And
but it was
That was-
an
that was
ugly stat
unfortunate.
line for him.
yeah, it was. And, like, James Harden was the worst of the worst. He attempted 8 shots in Game 7.
I watched.
that guy is so poisonous. They
in
deserve
Game
that.
7,
they
it's a
deserve that.
mess.
There was somebody. It wasn't Stephen A. Smith. It was somebody on a desk, in the States, just giving it to Harden.
Yeah.
I sent that.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
I
and
can't remember who that was.
I don't know who that was either. He, very composed,
Yeah.
like not overly animated or anything. It was just, James, I'm going to tell you something. And he
Yeah.
just broke down
He went through
everything.
the whole timeline, his whole career.
Yeah.
And, like, that guy was the problem. That guy was the problem. And right at the end,
And
he
he's
goes,
like, you're the problem.
Right.
You're the
I
problem.
like how he detailed all the
all the
intimate-
stuff that went on.
No, he's like, you come here and you ask to go to Vegas on your days off. Who on earth is a pro athlete and tells the team, by the way, I'm not practicing on off days, I'm going to Vegas. Like that's a reality for that guy. I would watch a 30 for 30 or some kind of doc on that guy is not far away from Dennis Rodman type of behavior.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
he is infamous for that. Like, he loves hitting certain establishments in certain
Right.
towns, and like there's videos out of this guy just making it rain with cash you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Which, okay, you're a free man, you can do whatever you want, but he's won an MVP, he's a great scorer, but he just never gets it done when you have to win.
I know.
That's the thing. It's like, just can't get it done when you need to win. Anyway, we got Game 2 tonight. We'll come back and continue to tee it up. What can we expect out of the Leafs? Sam Bennett, he'll be playing. What do we expect out of Sam Bennett tonight? We'll get Struddy's take on that. If Struddy was playing for the Leafs, would he do everything he could to fight Sam Bennett tonight? I feel I know the answer on that. But we'll catch up with Strud. We got the game again cooking tonight. We got the Jays on the West Coast after they lost last night to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
that was terrible.
That was why Jeff Hoffman was even in the game. The amount of mileage he has on his arm, and he got torched last night. It's not good for the Blue Jays, man. It's not good.
Well, it looked good for a while there. They were up.
Yeah, they were. But then again, you only score 3 runs against that team. That team's a disaster. And guess who you got on the mound? Yusei Kikuchi for the Angels tonight. Revenge game. He's going to go ranting in on the Jays tonight.
No.
Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Jason Strudwick coming up here in a few moments. And we got Game 2 tonight, Leafs Panthers, and all eyes are on Sam Bennett tonight. And listen, he scored that fourth goal the other night to make it 5-4.
Was it a double deflection? Like, it was a moldy
It was
goal,
a weird
wasn't it?
goal, and it got under
It hit
wall.
Didn't it hit Carlos' stick?
Yeah, I think it hit Carlos' stick, and then it went in, I guess, because it wouldn't have hit another Panther.
It hit something, and then Carlos' stick, and then went up, like, under here. It was just a weird goal.
Yes.
Tonight's not the night. You wait until next year, or it's 6-1 in a game tonight, and then you can possibly. But remember that guy's tough as nails. So
Well, yes. Like,
one thing you don't want to do is chase him around and take a 4-minute penalty, and they score 2 goals, and then you look
No.
stupid.
I
You
don't
can't do
think
it.
he would do that, though. I think he would take the fight, personally.
I think what you do is, if you got an opportunity to get a clean lick on him, you do.
That's
Don't
it.
don't turn away a hit on him. Don't turn away anything on him. And if there is some form of, like, hey, one team's up 5-1 or something in game 3 or 4, and somebody wants to have at it, he'll go at it. Max Domi, didn't Max Domi fight him this year? It didn't go
Yes,
that well.
he did. I don't remember what happened
What started
beforehand that
it,
led
but-
to the tilt. Like, it
Oh,
wasn't
Domi
off the-
fought that Schmidt.
Yeah, but he
Domi
fought
Bennett. I think
Bennett too.
tuned him up pretty good, I think.
Yes,
But
he did. Bennett won the fight. It was, I think, the first game of the year. But again, I don't remember what the backstory was. But that's not what you're looking for. Max
No.
Domi toe-to-toe off the draw is not, like, if it's going to happen, it's got to be, I would say, Nyes, McCabe is capable.
Problem is, both those guys have concussion issues.
Yes, and
You don't want them messing around.
no,
Like,
exactly.
That's the last
And they're
thing.
both first line left winger and your top pair defensemen, so you kind of need them on the ice.
Right.
And I think, again, Bennett would, from a chess match element of it would say, I'll take that to get you guys off the ice too.
Right.
I also was thinking about this in terms of the messaging from Craig Berube, which I appreciate because all the Leafs are on the same page, right? They're all saying the best way to get back at this guy is to win tonight, and we've moved on and it's over.
That's fair.
And Berube is the one clearly that is sending that message, even though he is probably thinking, like, obviously, if I was on the ice, it would be different. He even joked about that yesterday. It's like, back in my day, it would have been taken care of, and then he said, probably by me, something like that. It was a great line, and everyone's laughing, like, yeah, that would have been it. Probably Berube chasing him around the ice. You don't have that. It's not going to happen. But I also think there's a strategy that comes with this because Berube understands that's not how his team is wired, and most importantly, that's not how his best players are wired, and I don't think they're comfortable in a game like that. And I think that is wise in terms of that philosophy. Like if you're Berube and you're thinking Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, they're wired in a way that they don't love craziness. They're not overly comfortable in a crazy game. And if you start to send messaging that we got to get retribution, we got to get back, it's going to get crazy, I think that possibly isolates those guys.
Yeah, and because Tkachuk goes, okay, you're going, I'm going there, and somebody else like that. You're right. It starts.
You don't want that kind of energy with those players. Yeah. Now, if it happens spontaneously, it's on them to play through it.
Agreed.
But I think if you're game planning for it, I think it's wise for Berube, even though maybe it goes against his instincts or the way it would have been back in his day, but to think, okay, what's in the best interest of my four best players here? Because if it becomes a jungle out there, that's not going to be good for those guys. Like, that's not a comfortable world for Marner and Nylander and Matthews.
You coach to the strength of your team, right? Like, and that's the strength of your team is, I like and I think they did it well against Ottawa in Game 1. You drew penalties, you didn't retaliate, and you beat. You got 3 power play goals that night. You might draw some penalties tonight. The thing is Florida wants you to get into the muck. They're good in the muck. I don't know how good the Leafs are, as you mentioned. Certain players are in the muck.
I don't think their best players are comfortable in that.
So
try to game plan out of it as much as you can.
Agreed.
All right, here's Jason Strudwick, our good friend from the Got Your Back podcast.
Somebody
Struddy,
who's in the muck all the time.
All the time. I can only imagine. What would your game plan be tonight with Sam Bennett if you were on the Maple Leafs?
Well, I'm glad you guys called because I have the answers.
Okay.
You got to call West. Look west every now and then. We got solutions.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. What do you got?
You don't need to get out and have a toe-to-toe battle at center. You just stay together. One guy goes in, you all go in. And everyone just partners up like a school dance in Mississauga, or whatever that place is called. You just all stay close and everyone gets in. There's a pack mentality. And then they can't get free. They can't make it happen. Stay together. That's what their strength in numbers. And I've seen it done before. That's what they need to do. Stay together. They don't need to tee off. Matt Nye doesn't have to fight Tkachuk on his own, but everyone can get in together. I think that shows support for your teammates.
Okay. I like that. I like that idea.
And it's not a hard thing to do.
No. It's not.
Yeah.
Who are you scared of? Who has the heaviest hands on Florida? Like Tkachuk's not going to beat you up. Who else am I missing?
Sam Bennett can throw, but exactly, he's not. He's not.
They don't have a heavyweight on the ice. They don't have a heavyweight on that team.
No.
But so you get in there, stay close. Everyone get in there. I mean, again, you don't have to be chucking bombs. Just make it really tight, and the rest will get in there and break it up. I've done it before. I've seen it done before. That's what you stay together, and that's frustrating because that tells the other teams you're all together. And then Tkachuk's going to try to get around, and Bennett's going to do what he does. So okay, that's all right. But if you're going after Matthews, everyone get in there and hold tight. Then the rest will break it up. I mean, this isn't 1980, right? It's pretty easy to get out of these types of situations.
Would you take liberties? Like, that's the thing, scrumming up. Is it always, when you do a scrum, is it better to be the aggressor and punch somebody, or retaliatory and then the ref goes, both of you are going?
Yeah, well, I remember when the Boston and Vancouver played, and Marchand was having his way to Sedin's. Like, there's a point where, like, okay, it's enough. Like, I gotta push back here, right? And I think that we saw what enough looks like, and that's the situation. But it doesn't have to be Sedin's. Someone else can come over the top rope, right? There's guys that are on the top line that may be caught out there for a shift or two. and they can do something to maybe the other team's best players, right? And then don't go after Kachuk or Marchand. Go look at Barkov. Go find Verhaeghe. Go find Gustav Forsling. Those are the guys. If they're going to target Matthews and them, you go after them in scrums. Don't go after Kachuk. He wants that. Go after the guys that don't want it. Gustav Forsling isn't looking for that type of a night. So make it uncomfortable for him. But someone has to have that, hey, if this happens, I'll take this guy, but you go after this guy. Take him to the ground and give him the old rabbit punch kidney shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Sam Bennett's going to have his head on a swivel, and he's tough, and he'll be ready for it. That is kind of the old school play. Is you say, hey, Sam, we're not worried about you. Carter Verhaeghe, when we get a chance, we're going to try to destroy you. And Sam Reinhart and Barkov, like that line is so good. And yet they all play an honest kind of style. Like they're just going out there to play. They're not wired in a way. They're not looking for fights or scrums or the whistle blows. They're all like, we're good. We're done. And, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out tonight. But Joseph Woll going in, I'm curious, Struddy, as a defenseman, how much that changes your approach going from one goalie in Stolarz who was really good handling the puck and had been playing well and had been playing every single night, so you're aware of what he brings to the table. And it's not like Woll is a guy that's never played for the Leafs. Obviously, he's played a lot, but it's been a while. And he's got a different style in net. Does that affect you at all as a defenseman? What should we expect tonight for the Leafs?
Well, I think there's a comfort level because you know this goalie, right? He's been around the team for a while. This isn't a guy you picked up, March 7th. So you have a comfort level. Obviously prefer if you're, in right now, your number one netminder, Stolarz, was in the pipe, so he's not available. So now, the game plan doesn't change. The way that you approach Florida and how they're trying to make plays and all that is the same. It doesn't mean you have to block every shot either. Woll can get it done. Now, what you're looking for, though, is how does he look when he goes out for those first couple of minutes? Because you can tell in the goalie's eyes, you look back and you're like, oh man, that's a scared look in his face, or this guy's dialed in, or he's confident. And you can tell from a defenseman when you line it up, and you're like, oh boy, this guy does not want to be out here. And like, yeah, you're right, I don't. So you've got to, hopefully he can project some confidence, he can get some early saves, feel good about himself, and just get on track. But the game plan is still the game plan. Right? It's not like it's a different pitcher in baseball. It's a different goalie, but Florida's going to try to do, I'm guessing they'll be a better version of themselves than they were in game one, but they still are what they do, and you know how they play.
Struddy, you saw that fear in my eyes every game that we played together.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here, and the team was terrified too. But, in all seriousness, the one thing that I would be looking for too, and this is why I wanted to ask you as a defenseman, so Anthony Stolarz handles the puck really well. So he's a guy that, the team has now gotten accustomed going back. If there's nothing there, he's got a really good hard rim around, and they take the fight up to the blue line type of thing. Joseph Woll isn't as strong as handling the puck. There are certain things that you get into a groove between defenseman and goaltender. The way you defend, the way you like to box out, the way you like to block shots. How quickly can that settle in for a guy if you haven't played with a guy in a little bit? And then the difference in their puck handling. I mean, can you see, is it just keeping it simple and more communication is better? That's the other thing, is Stolarz is really, really vocal back there. Hayes is at the games all the time. When I was at the games, you can hear him yelling. You can actually hear him talking on the ice. So those differences, are they massive for a defenseman, or is it more just about adjusting to who's back there?
Well, first off, I'm going to give you credit because I gave a move the goalie's made. I called it the noodles. That's where someone would rim it in, and the goalie would get it and push up against the back wall, so I couldn't get it off the wall. And then it would get blown up. So I always, we got the noodles on table tonight. So that's what you don't want. But when you have a goalie that's not as comfortable with the puck, it's very simple. You got to make it as simple as possible. You just leave it. It's up or it's over. So to me, leave it means obviously you just put it in get it off the wall and get out of the way. I'm coming through. Up means I'm going to the corner. You can give it to me there. And over means he throws it to his backhand to your partner. And it's got to be very, very simple. They have to be clear. It can't be like, hey, buddy, you got to make this play. Just simple. And usually the goaltending coach, the goalies, in this case, Woll, and the D-men will go through it before the game and say, these are the calls we're making. And the D-men, especially for guys who will generate the puck, you have to make that call early and clear. And then you trust it 100%. You hammer that puck to me, or you throw it behind, or you just leave it and get out of the way. And because I played with young Lundqvist, he wasn't great with the puck, but we made it very clear, and he became proficient at it. And then as he got older, he got a little more comfortable with it. But young goalies, you have to be very clear, and you know it, because now it's a treat when you play with a good goalie who can really handle the puck. You just go get open, and he's going to throw it to you. But this isn't the case now, so you adapt. And it does make it harder. And if I'm a Florida Panther forechecker, I'm liking this, because now there's not like a third defenseman back there.
With Jason Strudwick, so the Oilers down 2-0 last night, and they come storming back. They win 4-2. They've won 5 in a row.
Is that sustainable?
I don't know. I mean, Struddy, you give us a vibe check out there. Are we back on Stanley Cup or bust mode? Where are we compared to where we were after 2 games against the LA Kings?
Well, first off, I can't believe you guys called me when the Oilers have won 5 in a row. I mean, did the Argos not have a press conference today? We know you love your press conferences out there.
Yeah, there was one actually. I think we were going to play that instead of having you on.
So I'm actually, you guys are showing growth, and that's what life's about. So Congratulations to you and all the Toronto listeners that love me. But you know what? Listen, their game has been trending in the right direction. They never had this roster together at all this year, right? It was injured, it was trade, it was this and that, and even now it's not full with Ekholm out. But now you can see what they were going for, a team that can play fast by being, hockey IQ, moving the puck quick, and they showed it last night. I mean, last night was a bit of a weird one. You get the double minor right away, Vegas scores, and then Stone scores on a turnover that's what they feast on, right? Atop the blue lines, you give it up, boom, they're coming back the other way. But if you're the Oilers, you know now how you have to play. The flip side is that I think Vegas has a better game in them. I really think that they're going to try to get clean out of their zone, get the puck up to their forwards, and try to put pressure on the Oilers' D. The Oilers' D were quick with the puck, or quick to the puck, quick to move it, and got it up the ice quickly. Guys like Klingberg and Bouchard, that is their dream scenario, where you're just a step behind, so they can make the plays they want and they don't feel pressure. Then other guys are maybe a little bit chunkier with the puck. They want that extra time to have that read and to make that play. So I think Vegas is going to be a lot smarter about where they put the puck, where they carry it, and most importantly, how they pressure those D so they're not having a nice day back there in a rocking chair.
Strud, I read this stat the other day that 10 of the 11 last goals that the Oilers have scored are not Draisaitl or McDavid. Draisaitl scored last night, but it was Perry, it's Hyman.
Connor Brown.
But you go into the last couple games against LA, and it was the same type of thing. Are you seeing some of their depth wake up? Is it, kind of threats on each line now, or is it just kind of, a couple one-offs here or there?
No, I think they've really kind of got it dialed in where each line has an element you like. A really heavy body, in guys like Paul Coles or Kane or Frederick or Leon on the wing. Then the other side, you have hardworking guys that can also score but also play a heavy type game. And then centers that are really smart down the middle. So the lines are all fourth balanced. Right now, you might have a little more skill at the top end, but there's that consistent, smart center, heavy on the wings, and guys that can all score. I mean, all 12 forwards have the ability to score. Arberton and Paul Colson were the second-line wingers from a good chunk of the year. They're now fourth-line wingers. Now, they're playing 7, 8, 9 minutes, but there are times out there, especially Arberton, where he looks dangerous, and he can pop a goal. He's got a good shot. Not the wheels he used to have, but he has a good shot. So the depth is there. Frederick is getting healthier every day. When he first came in here, I mean, it was really hard to watch him skate. Now he's moving. And as the series goes on, I think that the team will learn to play together more, continue to get healthy unless there's fresh injuries. Because keep in mind, it takes a new team, when the season starts, it takes a while to get that chemistry going. We're talking about a whole new lineup, and they're now, maybe since game 3 of round 1. So I think the more they play together, the more they get those reps in, and they understand how they can have success, I think it helps the Oilers big time the longer the series goes.
Strud Noodles reminded us at the beginning of the show that Draisaitl and McDavid are 2 of the best players in the league, and they're dominant.
It was a good point he made.
It was.
They are very good players.
They might, they're very good. That's basically.
Do you laugh to yourself and I know it's so difficult. And the point I was trying to make earlier was when guys like that, the top players get dialed in, there's not much game planning. It's like you would have to think the coach, and you think the last coach would say, if those 2 guys are on the ice, let's be smart here, but they just make you look stupid every time.
Well, they're really skilled players. I mean, that's obvious. The plays they can make and the decisions they make. But right now, it must be nice for them to not have to worry about having to do everything because they have other guys chipping in. I mean, they were a huge part. I mean, obviously Connor, what he did last night and how he can do it. Leon's got that backdoor backhand off the goalie's pad. I mean, those are skilled plays. But they don't feel the pressure, I think, to now have to do everything and feel like every shift they have to win the Stanley Cup. I think they see that their teammates are contributing. And even if they're not scoring, which they are because they got goals from 3 different lines last night, they still feel good about what they're doing. They see that the team's working together. The D-men are working. Cal Picker's giving them a chance to win. Cal Picker doesn't have to win the series for him. Doesn't have to win the game for him. He just has to give him a chance to win. And I think they now see what the vision was by management when this team was put together in early in the year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Corey Perry goal was just the two of them kind
Dude, how about that guy? Like, it seemed like he was done 6 years ago.
Yeah.
He'll be 40 next week.
Yeah, he's 40 in a
Crazy.
week. And he's still, like, he was out there. He scored the 2-1 goal, and he's out there with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just go to the net, I guess.
Well, if you go back on that, like the pass out, you know who else was done 2 months ago? John Klingberg. That guy looks really good. Now, he's
40
not fast,
years old, dangling with McDavid and Draisaitl.
but that
Unreal.
80-foot pass up to whoever
Draisaitl started over to McDavid.
that was Klingberg. A rock, like it just. It's weird how it's all kind of, right now, in the time being, kind of come together for them. But Corey Perry, like I think on the broadcast they said last night, you've got 3 Hart winners on one line.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
he
forget
scored
that
50
Corey
year, and-
Perry won the Hart,
That's right.
but it was 50 years ago.
It was a long time ago. It was 15 years ago at least.
Crazy.
Yeah, he scored 50 that year. I believe the only guy in the league that scored 50 that year. And, everyone's got a Hart trophy. All right. Well, there you go, Strud. I'm loving life right now with the Oilers. The Elks, I got a really good feeling about the Elks this year. So next time we have you on, we'll make sure to get your tune-up because we're getting closer to opening day in the CFL.
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting times. And are they planning the route to Scarborough and London, or are they just going to hit Mississauga, or where are they going to take the trophy?
Mississauga. Yes, I don't know. We'll listen. We'll see what comes of it. All right, maybe it's Leafs Oilers.
I was just going to say
Cup final.
we might be talking here in a month from now, Strud,
Yeah.
and we will be doing OverDrive from Rogers Center in
That'd
or
be,
just
maybe we meet in the middle. We
JW
meet in
Marriott.
Winnipeg or something.
Yeah,
right.
true.
We all everyone meets in the middle.
Could be Winnipeg, Toronto. You never know. There's
Well,
still 3 teams left.
Yeah,
3 Canadian teams, Big Strud.
and 2 of them are up 1-0. There you go, Struddy.
Ogopogo? Are they going to Ogopogo for the parade route? What's that place?
What is Ogopogo?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Madison.
Ogopogo. It's where I did Battle of the Blades. I was tight suited. Ogopogo. Don't they?
Etobicoke, you idiot.
Oh yeah. Like what I.
Obobogo. Yes.
I forgot about it.
I do think the parade could get there at some point.
Okay.
We'll put in that suggestion for you. We'll send it down to City Hall and let them run
Let
the
them
whole
know.
operation. Thank you,
I
Struddy.
don't know.
All right.
Anytime, guys. Talk to you later.
There he is, Jason Strudwick.
I thought that was a bar he was talking about.
I
didn't
thought
know
so
it.
too. I mean, that was not even close.
I thought he
to
was trying to say
Etobicoke.
Coco Bongos.
Is that a bar?
Well,
Cut that
in
up. and we
Cancun.
gotta, yeah, exactly. It's not in Toronto.
I thought he was talking about the Madison or something. Like that's.
Ogobogo.
But what is?
That's his version of Etobicoke.
Etobicoke. All right. We'll come back. We got some golf picks we got to get to because the Truist is cooking this weekend. Heading into the PGA next week, man. It's going to be some really good picks, really good golf over the next 2 weeks. So we'll get to those. Game 2 of the J Series tonight. Game 2, Leafs Panthers tonight. We're chugging towards that. Ray Ferraro coming up in 20 minutes. Ray will join us. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. All right, big couple of weeks coming on the PGA Tour, and the OverDrive PGA picks are brought to you by TaylorMade Performance Lab. For a limited time, use the promo code TSN1050 to save on your fitting fee. Book now at TaylorMadeGolf.ca. That's where O and I are all the time, getting dialed in, right? The QI35, I am hammering all over the golf course.
You guys on the
Likewise.
course?
I love this
Likewise.
club. Yeah, it's a great club. I got mixed in the 7-wood, and
But I mean, have you been golfing every day?
I haven't been playing a lot just
like
because
the
of the weather. And
Honorable
the
mention
leaves.
to my partner. We spanked a couple guys today. Adam, great job.
Okay, shout out. Yeah, I have not been able to get out, but when I have been hitting the ball, I've
Right.
been hitting it very well.
Good.
So I love it. All right, We got the Truist this weekend down in Philly.
I'll give you the first pick.
Okay, I'll take the first pick. You know who I think is going to get cooking here, leading towards a repeat for the PGA Championship next week?
Xander.
I will take Xander Schauffele.
I will take my good friend from Northern Ireland.
You think
Rory-
McIlroy's going to win
Rory-
another one here?
Dude,
He's
just
playing
said
so well, man.
the strategy for this course is bomb it and find it. He's pretty good at that.
Yeah, and listen, he's been red hot this year. You can't. What else are you going to say? Pebble, Players, Masters. Whenever you put the best players together, McIlroy's been great this year. Another guy who's played really, really well this year, really, really well, is Justin Thomas. I will take JT. Justin Thomas.
I'm going to take a couple guys at you.
Yeah, throw it.
I'm going to take Ludwig Aberg
Yes.
and my guy Richard Hovland.
Wow.
Richard
Victor.
Hovland.
Okay, I don't have an issue with that. All right, I am going to go Shane Lowry, who has been playing very well this year, very, very well. And I keep going back to the well, but I feel like at some point this guy's going to close and win. Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Tommy, all right, one more each.
No, I'm going to go Jordan Spieth, and I'm going to also pick one of my favorite guys whose toes touch each other when he walks, Rusty Henley.
Russell Henley. Doesn't bomb the ball, but plays pretty well. Okay, what do I have? Two more? I'll take Minwoo Lee. I love Minwoo, and I'm going to take Corey Connors.
Oh.
Corey Connors.
Love it.
There you go. The
Dude,
OverDrive.
I'm done taking Spieth. I can't do it.
You can't touch Spieth. No. The OverDrive PGA Picks brought to you by the TaylorMade Performance Lab. For a limited time, use the promo code TSN1050 to save on your fitting fee. Book now at TaylorMadeGolf.ca. Ray Ferraro coming up in hour 2 ahead of Game 2 tonight. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.